you know, I've seen this 100 times in my storage. I just thought it was something modern. I didn't pay any mind to it. I'm looking into it. It's going for $70 online. It was Burger King, and so it could be used as a coaster. And then your straw, it snaps onto your straw. Look.
Yes.
Oh, that's what it was. And look, Bub, look.
I see, and it's a cup holder. That's nice.
Burger King, vintage, 80s. I thought that was modern.
That's really nice.
Learn something every day. I love Eternia dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Get a couple more of these, put them in the house for when we have fine guests over.
No.
We could stick it with the fine china.
No.
What?
Yeah, we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Remember
not.
I told you earlier we don't ask permission.
No, we asked for forgiveness.
Alright, so went up to storage, got everything Masters related out. In the back we've got a ton of vehicles that we're gonna be getting processed and all that stuff. But ton of stuff, more stuff than I ever imagined, and then at the same time, like I feel like I'm pretty well versed in some of the MOTU stuff, and I learned some new stuff. So I'm going to show you guys kind of what I came across, and then thank goodness I don't collect most of the modern stuff because it's outrageously expensive or valued that way. So anyway, we like to go back and check on eBay. Okay, so I want to see what eBay sold listings are, and we do our best to beat that. So I got this guy Kirk every time he comes to my store. It's great. For as much negativity as this guy says about my store, every time he leaves a bad Google review. It's like clockwork. As soon as we see him on the cameras, wait for the Google review. Boom. And so Kirk, if you watch this, you're welcome to shop anywhere else in my store, dude, because I can't stand you or your comments. But and I can't write that on Google because then God forbid, right? But he was like, yeah, they focus too much on their new Gettysburg store. That's because that's where we plan on being permanently one day, right? Okay, that's what you do. And then he was like, yeah, their prices are just too high, and they don't have enough vintage wrestling stuff. Well, guess what? You can't buy vintage wrestling if it's not available to you, right? So that's just the game. So
vintage wrestling does not sell well for us.
I just, it's just one of the things, man, you let it go. I didn't comment, I just moved past it, but I wanted to definitely call him out for being an asshole. But when we were going into all this, it was just like, when did we get this? Where did this come from? And I mean, like, I got these, I bought this from my buddy Will probably 2 years ago, most of these lunchboxes. Like, so getting it all situated, what's new, what's old, what can be quick to be priced. Like, for example, that's the head from the He-Man book bag. That's attached to the front.
Yeah.
This is the face for the cake topper pan. That's always, I bet you I sold those pans for 2 years before realizing the face came with them. This is a super crazy, I guess hard to find vintage notepad. You'd flip it open. It's like that squishy plastic. You've got your wrapping paper, your gift wrap ensemble. Look at it, 79 cents back in the day. Well,
You couldn't find it that cheap today.
And then you go into some of the, like, this is like the little, I guess, wannabe tabletop games with the little figures and all that stuff. This is out of my realm. I don't know what this, I don't do this kind of stuff, right? So, just like a lot of Super 7, I don't do this. So, you've got the Super 7 2015 Sofubi Green Beastman Rare. $75? The arms don't even move. So it was exciting to be like, oh man, what are these things? Here we go. $220. Never heard of it in my life.
I've never seen that before either.
Then you got everyone on the Christmas tree got Skeletor. Your little wristlet gray skull. Vintage He-Man watch. I mean, like, it's really cool. Like, that was a thing back in the day. You know, that's what it was. Your He-Man pencil topper. It's funny because a lot of times in some of the MOTU lots we've gotten over the years, people are like, man, the He-Man head just looks too big. Well, it's a pencil topper. It's not the head to the vintage figure. You got your Princess of Power pencils. And then stickers came with the classics. And then this was hilarious. Like, this had a $45 price tag on it. So we lowered it down to $20. And it was very funny because I remember when these first hit, the craze. Me and my buddy Chris from the BOD drove all the way to Colorado, hitting different Walmarts around the country to see, and we were hitting different toy shops and all, but the running jokes, we were trying to find this, and we didn't find it.
Shout out to Christy.
Now, you could see hundreds and hundreds of them at Ollie's. Then you go over to where I was at all day yesterday, man. I mean, everything you can possibly imagine, from your little party favorite, like your little candy cups. You've got your little pencil pouch and labels, a shrinky-dink, Skeletor staff, a bunch of different cosplay, like the little kid shields. I mean, vintage little boys' belts or girls. Oh, that was pretty. And there was that old school magnet. Wee bit
Man, does
small
that brings back memories?
You got your little He-Man 2000, not 2000X, New Adventures merchandise, which does not come up very often. Your Power Tour pin.
What is the cat here?
This is a custom Big Jim Origins Battle Cat.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's pretty cool. I thought that was so man. Like I got what they were putting down.
Yeah, I like that.
And then you go into like your different Muscle Men series, which they did a really good job mocking the old Slime Pit can. And then each one has like a different wave, so it was a different figure. You got Hordak, Too Bad, Skeletor. There's another one. And then they had like the random different color Muscle Men. And then we got like our little. This will probably go up front. You'll have your little Masters Muscle Men, little vintage Imp sticker, your old school keychains, and then I could not think of what a little He-Man clipboard would be for, but that's. Yeah, so, and then you got your legit vintage Gumball figures, which come in a ton of different colors, but you always know they have that little stand on their feet. It was just exciting and different.
No, wait a minute. That clipboard, I think that could fit in a classic figure's hands or one of the Mondo's figures' hands.
Give it to Molar.
Yeah.
Slip on it so when Skeletor's getting his dental work.
Yeah.
Your Gumball Bank. All right, now we're gonna go into some of the stuff that is modern and way above my pay grade. All right, so this is one of the Funko, like, exclusive style, loyal subjects, craziness, like all that modern-ish stuff, right? So it's a Funko t-shirt for $110 shirt in the pack. Look at what people are asking for them. $200.
For a t-shirt?
You got the vintage Skeletor mask, shield, more shields, of course. And you got, there's the He-Man one.
Now, is this one missing stickers? Or is that a different issue?
Stickers are out. You've got your little Havoc staff. You have your He-Man swords.
I used to love that stuff as a kid.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you. Your little Skeletor,
there we go. Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Rocking and rolling. Mm-hmm. Now, let's go a little bunkers. Mm-hmm. So there's two sets that each got number 1 and number 2 of the muscle set from Super 7. You can see the price tag. $85 and $85. There are listings online for $350 or more for these two sets.
Yeah, we know very well.
I don't understand because they're new. But I don't collect that stuff, so I don't have that need to be like, oh my god, take all my money. But I respect it because it's MOTU, so I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I did take home a Stinkor. They did a Stinkor in blue. I took that home. But it was a bunch of, like, here you go. Take Me Along cassette, still in package. If you were going to your buddy's house spending the night and you had your little, like, to-go box, this would hold your shampoo. Or not your shampoo, your bar soap.
Oh, yeah.
So, I was having some fun. Here's a... I actually saw this when I was at PowerCon.
I have one of those.
It opens up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the neatest thing in the world, man. So, it was a bunch of... Alright, and then you go into some crazy. I've never seen that mask.
I didn't know She-Ra had a...
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and there's 2 of them. You got another sword, yellow sword, New Adventures of He-Man sword, an almost unused set of vintage Snake Mountain stickers, except for the eyes have been used. Found a really cool old poster. It's got Stinkor and the land shark, so that's gonna get framed and hung up in here for sure. Then swing on down over here. That's what I'm talking about, the different Princess of Power lunchboxes. This is more of the stuff that I'm interested in because it's vintage. It's the backstories of it, man. All the Aladdin lunchboxes, your party favors. Remember that little glass you?
Yup.
Your Viewmaster. Your Thunder Punch ammo.
Yes. Pow! Still one of my favorite figures ever.
So then, the big thing to start all this was we need to get stuff out. Like, I was hoarding Grayskull stuff, Frightstone stuff, Eternia stuff, Snake Mountain stuff, and you end up like this with bins and bins and bins. So for the first time ever now, you can come to Eternia Dreams, whether it be a Grayskull or Snake Mountain, and you don't have to buy a whole castle. You don't have to buy a bunch of shells to get what you need. You can get an actual working microphone. And I want to go over this where I was talking about the different things that I've learned. So the black is your second run. Your lighter gray is difference in color.
Yeah.
And then look at the boxes are different.
Mm-hmm.
And then a really corny, funny thing about them.
Which one is first?
First run is gray.
Okay.
Right? So they both, I don't have any battery covers on them. Battery covers, again, one of the harder things to get. The dumb little things I noticed. So the 9-volt battery, when it goes in the first run, is like big side on the right, small side on the left. If you know what I'm talking about as a kid, you stuck your tongue in it and that's a kid. But the second run is flipped. The battery's flipped. How it goes in. So, and I only know that because I had so many of them to test. So that's not the cool part. In my stack of my posters and pages and pictures and all that stuff.
That battery thing, by the way, is why we're willing to stick our tongue many places.
Yeah, that is exactly, yeah. Well, I found something that I've never seen, I didn't know about. Did you know that on a vintage Snake Mountain, the trap door, there's 2 different sizes?
No, I didn't know.
Well,
didn't
they
know
must have
that.
had a ton of issues when they originally were coming out in boxes. Because you could get a replacement, a 4949 replacement Snake Mountain trapdoor replacement kit, all original, and it explains that there's 2 parts during the packaging, so they would send you a first run and second run door to see which one fits your Snake Mountain best.
No kidding. I never saw that before.
ever seen this paperwork before. So I put $45 on it. I've never seen the paperwork before. I thought that was for a MOTU vintage collector, that's pretty rad. And then when you put them back to back, the second run, I'm assuming it would be the bigger one, is just maybe a 1/4 inch taller. But I'm wondering if it's because maybe figures weren't falling through like they should.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they made the adjustment.
It's funny you say that because I was just thinking back to mine as a kid, and I remember the figures didn't want to fall through mine very well.
Could be, see?
Interesting.
So you got your clips, you got your bridges, you got your nets, you've got your trapdoors, you've got your unbroken bridge rails. So these are, again, all things that you can come through us to get. The Wolfgate door, the little snake for the Snake Mountain, and then you've got Grayskull parts for days, man. Your gun, your little crazy like punch thing that spins around. You've got unbroken Grayskull doors, floors, and again, just being a collector, man, making sure all my tabs are there. So if we're gonna sell, it's gonna be in good shape. You see that post I put up of all the shells?
I
It was
don't know
like
that I did.
17 Grayskull shells.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's all sold.
Well, that went already.
Yeah. Second, I put it. All right, let me grab the key and I'm gonna show you in this cabinet.
All right.
All right, so this is the MOTU aisle, of course, but I rearranged a whole bunch of the merch. Got some really cool cases, so it's a little easier to see some of the things that don't really necessarily need to be in there because they're so high end, but more, they're just you don't want the plastic to break. So if I put them in a case, then they can be out of the cabinet. I changed around my bin. And we're doing like a really cool little special this month, man. Where it's $6 a figure, 2 for 11, 5 for 28, and they're beaters, man. But if kids are gonna play with them, like some of them are hilarious. Like someone put merman legs on Beastman, and then there was a stink horse somewhere that has fist of legs on it. I mean, it's funny too because you can see like where legs are coming off, but
Good custom fodder.
good times. Let the good times roll. But this was. And, you know, sometimes I always have that running joke where it's like, just leave me in the warehouse, don't put me on the floor. It's because I struggle with humans. I struggle with stupidity. That I do. I can admit my flaws. Those are my flaws. So sometimes you'll get a dumb question, and there is such thing as dumb questions. That's not when people, there's no dumb question. Yes, there are. Someone was like, why don't you just build all those modulocks? We would if we had all the parts. That's why we're selling all the extra parts. Someone commented and said, why don't you just sell those?
Not to mention you have so many of them anyway that are
That's
all together.
all modulock. Not a single connector piece. Arms, legs, the little butts, the torso pieces were like the body pieces that where you connect the legs and etc. You need that piece that has the two things for like the legs to go on, arms to go on, heads go on. There's none. So here you go. You can come down and pick whatever part you need for your modulock for $4.
Nice.
Can't beat it.
Well,
Now,
you got multi-bot too.
multi-bot is the most expensive one. I mean, this figure's now almost $200 complete, vintage. Not a single one of the black connector pieces. And so, over time, buying all these collections, you'd start just stockpiling it. I don't have any connectors, so they're no good, right? Like, these are your little AP packs, your accessory packs. You got your He-Man, your swords, and that kind of jazz, Skeletor swords, your shields. Excuse me, I burped. Swords, maces, web store gun, your Grayskull shields. $2 each. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're gonna come over here, you get a $6 figure for your kid. You can get him a sword and a shield. You know, it's a $10 He-Man figure out the door. And then you go. Some of the things that, like, you're not going to, like, for example, there's not going to be a Ninja or Nunchucks in here, right? There's not going to be certain figures that are just too hard to get accessories for. But then on the same exact statement, I've got Cliff Climber parts in there. And the reason is because I'm not going to have very many Cliff Climbers come in. So holding one of those parts is senseless to me. But a lot of Hordak shields, your little chest armors, Triclops, Many-Face guns, those kind of things, like your Ryoblast, chest plate, just things I had way too much of, way too much. Like, dude, that's a lot of armors. You got Zodak, red, black, the old Wonder Bread that everybody gets upset about. None of these are the short tab Stratos armors that you'd get on your Bluebeard. You've got your different Beastman chest accessories. Now, this does have some gold in it. So the Bionatops piece, your Fright Fighter wings, your Turbodactyl wings, your gun for your Fright Fighter, your Monstroid legs, your Point Dread parts. So that's some cool stuff. Like, and I don't know why. Who knows? I would love to. The left wing on the Talon Fighter, I had one, but I have like 30 of the right wing. I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's sort of odd.
It's odd. Like, yo. That vintage He-Man belt buckle. Like, that's the stuff where I'm like, I like that.
I like that Grayskull business card holder in there.
I noticed I've had a couple. The teeth are really fragile on them. Like they chip a little easy. We just added a He-Man bank. I know that's new. Bronze Grayskull. Let's see more of the. So there's the head part, which is really cool because it looks a lot like the Havoc staffs on the sides of the head. And then
The Hordak breastplate.
Yeah, that's still need that Hordak wrist thing, right? Isn't that
No, I need the face.
That's
it's
what
just the mask. I get everything else.
And then over here is where it got a little wild, man. Not only do we have, like, you know, the super rare craziness in here, but you run into again, I had too much Grayskull parts. So all my weapons racks are unbroken. All my seats are unbroken. All flagpoles are missing flags, but your gargoyles. And then you go into, like, this entire bin's $9 each for any ladder. But I wanted to keep this separate. You notice that color's a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
That's Top Toys. So that's a Top Toys. Like, that's going to be a whole different collector's going to be coming looking for that. But here you go. There's only 2 weapons that are extremely expensive in the vintage Grayskull. Obviously the minigun, but I kid you not, the next thing is the sword, like the little gray one I just showed you. Those 2 weapons are definitely the most expensive in the vintage run. So you can come get any one you want for $6 each. So depending on which thing you need, just ask us. We open the cabinet, we dig in. Now, a little bit more harder to get, man. You got your power tools, quick climber goodies. You're never gonna see, right? Like most people have never seen them. Blast attack, your T-Rex gun, T-Rex, your slime pit can. This is amazing. I've seen so many people make the really cool decorative cookies out of the lit. You got your maroon man-face weapon. So okay, so here's the sword in the Grayskull colors. What's hard to get? You got your snake face shield, your multi-bot gun, modulock gun, Terraclaw weapons, another one of the little tower tool, one of the tools feet. So you're gonna have your little bit harder to get stuff.
Got some meteorbs up there.
Tons of meteors, man. And then all your high-end figures, man. You got your laser Skelly, laser He-Man, your first one Skeletor with the peach cheeks, your Hong Kong Hardhead Man-at-Arms. I mean, there's definitely some wildness up in here.
What if we hear? Oh.
That's a Bluebeard Stratos.
Oh.
Yeah, this was really cool, man. This is the Ben Cooper Battle Cat mask. Put up on a plaque, like it would almost be like taxidermy. And like the little snake, the little eyes.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was
You know, Skelly would have that hanging in Snake Mountain.
pretty neat touch. You know what I mean? He would have that hanging in the Snake Mountain, dude. So I'm just gonna call this back in here.
Gives that evil laugh every
But
time
I'm
he
just-
walks past
I'm
it.
just trying to get as much out. Like, if it's not out, it can't be sold. And I was too much of it was building up. Like, we went through all the Grayskulls. I mean, what? There's 4 out there to go up to Gettysburg. There's 12 here. There's probably 6 already there. Vintage vehicles that went out. We put a Monstroid out. We put a Fright Fighter out. Mantisaur, a Spydor. And here, follow me. So someone's going to be like, well, that's not fair. You said you were going to wait and hold those for a live sale. Kept my word. Looks a little different in here, man. We've been cleaning back here.
Yeah, I could move.
As promised, didn't sell any. It's all more. Another Monster, another Fright Fighter, another Spydor, another T-Rex, another Bionotops, another Turbodactyl. It's insane.
Look at that.
Insane. We put, because it used to be a bin for these, and then a bin for like the accessories and playsets for them. So I just put a total. That's all either chip tab, missing a part, whatever. It's a $5 dig bin for any of my customizers out there for Masters, and that is one mighty size bin. So again, it's just, I'm either gonna throw it away or I'm gonna try to get it out of here. All the merch you're seeing that isn't in the cabinets, this is all actually going to go back on those back tables. I'm going to be doing a live sale on all that first. So it'll all go through the group page. I'll put the information in one of the videos. The date and time. So, lots of goodies. So these are the Mexico bootlegs, which they've done a whole bunch of different ones, color variations, things like that. The infamous battle cap where the armor and the helmet is all one. But I was a sucker for a lot of this stuff, so the amount of that stuff that I was buying up. What's up, man? Hey, speaking of the guy that bought all the shelves.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
Hi.
I'm picking up some carcasses of Grayskull and Snake Mountain.
Carcasses. Some.
That's a few.
About 15 shells of gray skull.
What in the?
So I ripped the topper off this somehow walking by and I can't find the topper. And
It's on the actual thing.
I just looked, man. Is it stuck on this?
No, it's on the thing right there, right
Oh, it was up higher?
in front.
Oh man, that's a lot.
Bless his heart, Nikki.
Right?
That
Oh,
looked like a lot less than the picture.
all yours,
Tote's-
bud.
and the tote's big, so
All yours.
And there's a castle door in there.
that's what I'm going to grab.
Oh,
I got my money here, man.
I got some art projects.
You know what though? I've seen some pretty incredible things done with the Grayskull shells. Like the one guy commented about doing a bird feeder.
Yeah,
I've
that's.
seen that.
I'm gonna play with some. I'm gonna take an airbrush and mess around, see what I can do, if I can make it pretty or not. Play around, do some different things. My main thing was playing around with Fright Zone, but yeah.
And you can.
There's a few of those.
Oh.
Just a few.
Oh, now we're.
But I made a clip, a placement clip for it, and I'm making a tree. I have the puppet that I made already. And so, yeah, I want to make my own Fright Zone that's cool and looks more like the original concept that was like purple and green
Nice.
with that goofy looking monster. So, yeah, start with the basics. I didn't realize I was getting more than just shells. That's cool. So,
There you
I'm gonna
go.
have some fun.
Yeah.
Or they're going to collect dust, one or the other.